Today I'm going to talk about something that was requested by several people who watched my frugal budget grocery shopping video. They asked if I could share some of my low-cost or budget-friendly recipes. So I'm going to share 3 today with you. I will do more in the future, but I have 3 prepared that are, I think they're good, tasty, and they're all under $5 for 4 servings. It depends on how much you eat, of course, whether it's 4 servings. If you're a pig like me, it might be 3 servings. If you don't eat a lot at a time, it might be 5 servings. But generally, it's about 4 servings, and you might want to add something with it to fill out the meal or not. It really depends on each person. But each of these dishes are low cost, and I'll share with you how to make the recipes, and they're all really easy. There's nothing complicated at all. And how much they cost me. And like I've said before, I shop the sales, so I generally buy everything on sale when it's pretty cheap. So have to take that into consideration. Before we get started, I wanted to just mention that all of these recipes can be made ahead of time and either reheated or eaten cold maybe. And they're great for seniors, senior citizens, students, families, people who like to eat, basically. I hope you like 1 or 2 of them. Today I'm making some vegetable soup. I have some carrots, red bell pepper, broccoli, and cauliflower chopped up, and I have onions sauteing in some oil in the pan. I'm just going to add some water to the pan, put the vegetables in, and cook them, and they're all chopped up pretty small, so it shouldn't take too long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to use some Better Than Bouillon seasoned vegetable base, and I will just spoon some of this. The lid's on very tight. I'm going to spoon some of this, about that much, into the water. And I'm just going to stir it in to let it dissolve before I add the vegetables. Okay, that's pretty good. And I will just add these vegetables to the water, to the pan. I'll let these vegetables cook probably about 10 or 15 minutes because everything's cut up really small. I'll put the lid on, turn the heat down a little bit. I put the soup in my Vitamix blender, and I'm just going to give it a whirl and puree it. Check and see if that's enough. For this soup recipe, you can either, once you cook the vegetables, just stop right there and eat it. I like it pureed sometimes, so I do that, but you don't have to. You can just eat it with the vegetables not pureed, and it's delicious either way. And I like to add a toasted cheese sandwich using just 1 piece of bread per sandwich because, I could eat the whole thing with 2 pieces of bread, but I don't need it, and it's actually plenty for me. So I just take 1 piece of bread per sandwich and cut it in half, butter each side. On the side that isn't buttered, put some cheese, either 1 or 2 slices, whatever you like. I just use 1 because for half a piece of bread, basically 1 piece of bread total. 1 slice of cheese is enough for me. And then I grill it really quickly. It takes a couple minutes to make a grilled cheese sandwich. And 1 bowl of soup and a sandwich with 1 piece of bread is really enough for a quick lunch for me. I really enjoy it. The cost for the pureed soup and the grilled cheese sandwich follows. The soup takes better than bouillon. It's what I use. You could use vegetable stock, but I like this because it's pretty cost effective. It's about 30 cents, I think, for the amount of better than bouillon I use, which is about a tablespoon. Then the vegetables, it really depends on what you buy and how much you pay for them. But for about 2 cups of vegetables, I accounted about $2.50. That varies. And for the sandwiches, if you made 4 sandwiches with 1 slice of bread each, it would be 4 slices of bread, that's about $1. 4 slices of cheese, another $1, and the butter about 20 cents. So total, that's $5 for the 4 servings. And per serving, it's about $1.25. So one of the recipes is one of my go-to favorites. I've talked about this before. Rice and beans. I love it. And I don't think it's a real recipe, but if you don't make it, maybe you do need, a little instruction. So here goes. It's very simple. You take 1 cup of rice. I use either brown rice or white rice, whatever I have. I think brown rice is supposedly more healthy. And when I eat it with rice and beans, mixed with beans, the brown rice tastes fine. I don't like brown rice on its own. It's I don't like the flavor as well as white rice, but it's fine with rice and beans because I have other flavors with it. So you take 1 cup of brown rice and you cook it according to the package directions. It's, if you don't know how to cook rice, basically you put rice and water. It's usually 2 to 1, like 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water in a pan. You get it boiling and then you stir it. Reduce the heat to the very lowest you can. And I have an electric stove, which works really well. I'm not sure how this would work with a gas stove, but I'm sure people make rice on gas stoves all the time, or in a rice cooker. Rice cookers are really easy. So you prepare the rice, you cook it, and the brown rice takes about 40 minutes. So takes a little longer. White rice takes maybe 20. But just make the rice according to your package directions. You can make the rice ahead of time and have it ready. And I use canned beans. So I take 2 cans. You can season them or just use them as they come in the can, whatever you like to do. You could add some onions and peppers, some spices like cumin, chili powder, whatever seasonings you like, maybe some garlic, and you just heat those up. Then I like to make this more of a real meal, a yam, or you could cook 2 yams. And I just pierce it with a knife and then I microwave it. And it cooks it just fine. It's like a baked potato. You could do it in the oven, but I often just use the microwave. Cook it on the potato setting, which is about, I think it's 4 minutes, and make sure it's done. And then when it's cooled a little bit, you peel it and dice it. And that's a great addition. It tastes really good to me with rice and beans. Then I take an avocado and remove the pit, cut it in half, remove the pit, dice it. So it would be each serving would get 1/4 of the yam or sweet potato and 1/4 of the avocado. Of course, you can use more if you want, but for this recipe, that's what I'm using. And then sometimes I make a spicy sauce, and all that is about 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of some kind of chili sauce, like the red containers it's a chili sauce. It's a little spicy, but I don't think it's too spicy. It depends on what you like. And about a teaspoon of lime juice or lemon juice. And just mix that together, and you can drizzle it over the top. So I'll put the recipe up here, and you can pause the video and take a screenshot or a picture of it if you want, just to have on hand, whatever works. And since there's just one of me, I tend to make this, and I don't make 4 servings prepared all together. I just make the ingredients and then assemble them as I'm going to eat it and warm up the rice and beans and sweet potato. But if you're going to serve it, all at a meal, you could just assemble them or let people add what they want to their rice and beans. And the cost for the rice and beans is shown here on the screen. Basically, it's about 50 cents for rice, 2 cans of beans, about $1.80, 90 cents a can. And again, these are my prices that I've bought things on sale generally. 1 sweet potato or yam, it varies. I put down $1 because sometimes they cost that much. Sometimes they're a little less, sometimes a little more. 1 avocado, about $1. Again, you can get them at varying prices. And the spicy sauce is about 50 cents total, I would guess. I'm just estimating there. But that's a total of $4.80 for the entire dish. And per serving, for 4 servings, it's $1.20 per serving. I wanted to show you, I'm making a quick pasta salad. I'm cooking some shell-shaped pasta. I've cut up half a bell pepper, some broccoli, and some radishes, and I put in to the dressing I made some grapeseed oil, rice vinegar, which I think has a really nice, soft, delicate flavor, dill weed, celery flakes, and some salt and pepper. So, when it's all ready, I will show you the final product. Okay, so my pasta is cooked. I'm going to pour it into the dressing. Then I'm going to add the vegetables. So I've added the vegetables, and I'll give it a quick stir. And I decided I'm going to add some cheese to this. So I'm just going to pour in this remaining Italian-style 6 cheese blend shredded cheese, because I like cheese. So that's probably too much, but it'll be delicious. So I think this looks pretty good. I'm going to have some pretty soon, but I'm going to set it in the fridge to cool off a little bit. So for this pasta salad, you could certainly use any type of vegetables you like, or that you can disguise in there. And I love vegetables, so it's just whatever I happen to have on hand that I think sounds good. And I don't cook them. You could cook them a little bit, but I don't mind them raw. And I cut them up really small, and that helps. And I added some cheese to this, but you could also add a can of tuna. For the cost of this, it's a half a box of pasta, and I buy my pasta usually for $1 a box, so it's 50 cents. The vegetables, about a cup and a half, it was about $2, and again, that varies. The dressing was about 50 cents, and the shredded cheese, I would say about 80 cents, because I tend to buy my cheese on sale for under $2 a bag, and I think that was a little less than half a bag. And then a can of tuna, I try to buy $1 a can if I can on sale. So total, that's about $4.80, and per serving about $1.20. So do you think you'll make one or two or all of these recipes? I really enjoy them. I like having things on hand so I don't have to cook each meal. Like I've talked about, I love leftovers. It works for me. If you don't, you could perhaps, make half a recipe or whatever works. I think it's important for me to not throw away food. I don't like to waste things, especially food, because, if I eat it within 2 or 3 days, it's perfectly fine. And some things last even a little longer. So just, use your best judgment, refrigerate any leftovers, and try to enjoy them. And I like to buy everything on sale when I can. So it depends on, how much things cost me. And of course, it'll depend on what it'll cost you. If you can make a list of pantry staples like pasta, canned tuna, beans, rice, whatever foods you like to eat, and have those on hand for when you're not sure what to make, or, you just want to make something quick, because all of these, I would say they all take certainly less than an hour from start to finish, and probably closer to 30 or 40 minutes total. And I like that. I'm not one that wants to stand in the kitchen all day. I have no interest in doing that, but I do like to eat good food. And something like this, when I make it, it tastes really good. One thing that saves me money is I don't eat a lot of meat or eggs, and I don't want to. But if you do eat those, again, shop the sales and see what works. And in case you're new here, I'm Do It Myself Peg, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about frugal living and other things. And I hope you'll try at least one of these recipes and let me know if you do, and what you liked, or if you substituted something and made it better. I'm always open to new ideas for making my own meals. And I will see you next time.